What's up guys, Chad here with you. Welcome back to the Dorky and 40 channel. Today I want to take a look at the Super G and kind of talk about a couple things that I'm going through with my build. Now the Super G is definitely considered a premium frame. It has a premium price on top of that. Quality is definitely nice. Comes with nice hardware, stuff like that. But I've had some interesting issues that I haven't really had to deal with for a while, and that's like vibrations and mid-throttle oscillations like going on. Changing different props, trying some different battery combinations, things like that. It's pretty much all mechanical. It's a situation that some people find themselves in and they start messing around with PIDs and everything like that, and PIDs really don't have a lot to do with it. I've got some reasons that I can demonstrate and show. And we'll take a look at the bench here and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about and where my theories like come from. So we have the Super G here running with the Azor 5140 props, which are pretty nice. And then we have the TBS Source 1 here running the Ethics props. Now both of these are running the exact same power setup, 2207, 2450 Primos, Tempest F4 flight controller, SPEDIX HV ESCs, CROSSFIRE. I mean, pretty much everything is exact, even taking a look at the little double soft mount situation that I do on my motors here. So I kind of wanted to put everything into this one that I did with this one, just because the video performance and flight performance that I've got out of this frame and this setup is just remarkable. It's been a great frame over the past 3 or 4 months that I've been flying it, and I pretty much said I'm never going to buy another premium frame again. I'll put a link to the video here if you want to take a look at the latest video I have with Betaflight 4, and you can just see for yourself how well the video looks. So the Super G has a little bit of a wider wheelbase. It's at 235 millimeters. I believe this is like around 220, 222, something like that. So you can run a full 5.5 inch prop on here. And I'm probably going to get back to that. I've been trying to do some testing with 5.5 inch props, but I was having some issues. And I think a lot of the issues I was having are basically comes down to how you have the stack mounted and everything like that. 4 millimeter thick carbon arms and 6 millimeter thick carbon arms. You would think that like no vibration would get into the flight controller because you have such thick arms here. But the one thing, if you take a look at the Source 1, see how much meat there is right here with these arms and how these plates connect together. And then I just have bolts going up through there into the Tempest, and it's just screwed down almost as tight as I can get it. Take a look at the Super G. We got pretty much the same situation going on, but we've got like half the actual thickness. And then what Jordan's done has put those flight controller gummies in there to reduce the amount of vibrations that's going to the flight controller. Now, I think sometimes that situation works and sometimes it doesn't. If it works, I think a lot of luck is involved, or you really get it right the first time, because getting like your stack screwed down properly and mounted properly really comes down to just how much vibration is getting up to that flight controller. It's like my theory is that those gummies are vibrating at a different rate than the gummies that are built into the flight controller, and that kind of messes up the gyro. Kind of goes back months ago when I was doing some things with Helio and looking at a lot of black box logs, and you know, the super sensitive gyro and the IMUF technology that they had built into it did not like soft mounts. It was designed around the real thin, kind of dense soft mounts that were there. It liked to be, you know, kind of hard mounted like this. It didn't like any extra softness and stuff. And I've kind of went through this with my Proton build back in the day as well. So what I've done is I've put in some spacers here, and I've tightened those down really good with the through bolts, and you can really get them nice and snug without like totally squishing these. You can see that they still have the little nub that sticks up on there, and then of course the flight stack on top, and then I'll have room to run my ESC wires. I'm about ready to switch out to some 32-bit ESCs. So this frame weighs like 20 grams more as it sits than this one, but definitely flies a lot different. So got a lot of work to do still on it, but I just kind of want to show you some video of a before and after, because what I was doing before was I just had some of these little spacers right here that came with like the Hobbywing stack that were extra, and what I did is I just put those on first and then put the flight controller stack all the way down on those, and they were basically getting compressed down into here, so I really wasn't getting much work out of there. So the flight controller is pretty stiff and lodged in there, just like it is on the Source 1. So I did notice a good change in performance and video quality when I did that. I was flying the 5140 props. I didn't get a chance to go back and test 5.5-inch props just because the winds started kicking up and everything like that. So take a look at some video here and just give you some examples of a before and after running the Azores, and maybe we'll throw some 5.5-inch footage in there too. It's nothing special, but it at least demonstrates what I'm talking about. So here's some footage with the 5.5-inch GenFan 5552s. You can see it's not too bad. You might not even see the oscillations on a small phone, but they are there. A little bit of jello. Have an ND filter on at this point, so it's cutting down a lot of that. But when I do some punch outs, you'll see the vibrations and stuff and everything. So again, I need to get back to the 5.5-inch after I do this switch out and do some more testing, because I really would like to fly this on 5.5-inch. Felt pretty good. There was a little twitchiness and shaking and stuff like that going on. Definitely needed some more tuning. Everything's pretty much stock. I think I made some just some small adjustments to my P gains and tightened up the eyes a little bit. And of course I set my FFT frequency and the dynamic cascade filter with Betaflight 4.0. This clip here is with the Azure 5140s, same pack 5S 1500 milliamps, and pretty much about the same thing is going on. The stick feel is not too bad, it still needs some tune, but there's oscillations, got some weird bobbing and stuff like that going on and everything too. Just some really unusual flight characteristics that I haven't had to deal with in a while, because they just were non-existent on the Source 1, just with all that carbon in there, just kind of soaking all that up right there underneath the flight controller. So let's take a look at the Azure 5140 footage after I made the modifications to the flight stack. Okay, here we go. So the winds has started to pick up a little bit, but you should definitely be able to notice that the quad all of a sudden is a lot more responsive than it was in the other video, yet I have a lot more stick feel. So I'm definitely starting to feel this out now that I made that modification and tuned my filter frequency, and things are looking a lot better. Saw a flock of geese flying from pond to pond and decided just to chase them around a little bit. So that's a pretty cool shot. I wish I could have got a little bit lower and made them a little bit more visible. They kind of freaked out, so I just peeled off. So this is pretty much the best footage that I've got with it so far. I'll replay the same clip and grade it. Leave everything in flat just because it's easier to see the stuff. So here's that last clip with a little bit of grade, some letterbox just to make things look a little cinematic, kind of see what we're in for. Let this play out here for you guys for the next 10-15 seconds. Got any questions? Let me know. We'll talk to you guys later.